There is a guy out there. His name is James Wynn. You know him by name because everything on Bitcoin is recorded via the blockchain, and there's a website here that actually shows these accounts lined up. So let me show this to you here really quickly. Even if you're not familiar with Bitcoin, with crypto, just this is great education because it trickles into the stock market. Not all big money is smart money, right? Our whole philosophy here is at CTU. It's to say both hand in hand. Follow the big money, follow the smart money. Because, hey, typically big money is smart money. Typically, not all the time, right? So this guy is one of the biggest degenerates I've ever seen in my 10 plus years of being here at CTU. This guy ran up a leveraged Bitcoin account. He's doing it on 40 times leverage, 40 times buying power. So, he gets more buying power for cheap, but he has a tighter liquidation level. Point being is that he actually ran this account up from around however much money to begin. He actually went up as high as $82.5 million in unrealized profits. I'll say that again for everyone in the back listening. $82.5 million in unrealized. It shows all of his transactions, it shows his recent fills, it shows the completed trades. Listen, he's made a bunch of money before, but he's lost a shit ton of money before here too. So right now, he's been getting his butt handed to him on Bitcoin because he started entering this leveraged position that was worth, on leverage, $1.2 billion worth of money. Imagine being wrong, right? Now, what happens is that he was starting to be wrong. He was losing his shirt on this position, and he had to liquidate some of his position in order to at least keep some. He was being threatened of getting fully taken out. So he had to close some. He made some money on another crypto and started funding more of his Bitcoin position. Long story short, look at this graph. Look at this graph. We go from 82.5 milli all the way down. Right now he's negative. Look at this. He's freaking negative now at this point. Net total, right? He went full ride up and down. Can you imagine that? So, first off, just want to point out, not all big money is smart money, right? You could be a trust fund baby with mom and dad's money and be a highly sensitive human being, and you can't trade well with high strung emotion, right? Maybe you made that money and you're still just a degenerate gambler. Maybe you worked your ass off to make some money and you're in the stock market here now, but you're still a degenerate, right? Everyone's got their own demons that they're always fighting. Who knows what some people have going on? I'm not trying to make fun of this guy, but this just goes to really show what happens when you're wrong, right? What happens when you hold on too long when you could have gotten out a long time ago. And he actually closed out a bunch of trades just to show this. He went long, he went short, and he was losing his ass the last day and a half. These are all positions from the last day and a half, 2 days. Look at this. He closed his short out, was getting his ass kicked there, and he flipped long. Who does that? The only people that do that are either people that are 100% sure with the utmost confidence, or the people that are highly emotional and they're like, oh no, it's going to drop. Oh, it's going to go up. It's going to drop. That's how you get your account blown up to smithereens, right? Now, at least here, I think his liquidation price right now, let me even go back one more time. His liquidation price on this current position as is about 105,000. 105. If Bitcoin drops to 105,000 and change, allegedly, if he doesn't close out his position or fund more of his account, he's going to get liquidated in full. What does that mean? What happens if he gets liquidated? Well, it means that Bitcoin's likely going to drop off a lot harder at first. Then maybe we might get that bounce. So I'll come back to that global M2 money supply in just a bit. But you know what's funny? I mean, I've been hawking this like a demon lately here. So, I saw this number, 3,500 Bitcoin he still has remaining in this leveraged position. I'm pretty sure that he's been closing part of this trade out as we've been talking. No? Let's see. Did he add more? Did he close some? Looks like the most recent data. Okay, so I might be wrong there. He opened up more of a position from 10:49 in the morning. But the more that you see this number drop off, you could just tell real time he is selling. So just be mindful of that because he's going to need to if he wants to remain in this position. So if we go to this chart now and add these two pieces of information together, I mean, hey, we're focused on this degenerate gambler, but he's got a lot of money. And, hey, if he gets taken out, we're going to expect to see more of a pullback. Well, I'll tell you what, that falls in line pretty damn nicely with the M2 global money supply because we're likely to drop here anyway after breaking the all-time highs. So the combination of seeing this guy getting like taken out at 105,000 and change, you could see a drop down to there, maybe even more of a drop pulling back deeper into these wicks. But you know what? Hey, if it still retains higher lows this whole time, if it still kind of builds up here and just kind of shakes into it, I could see this popping right back on up afterwards. And then, going back up to 112,000 by like next week, early to mid next week, perhaps. Who knows, right? You can't just put all of your money into this like M2 global money supply because even look what happened here using this one model, at least, where we're thinking about maybe pulling back one more time into the end of April. We didn't. We popped. I was looking for a pullback and I didn't get it. So I had to be a little bit more conservative here at this point when it was kind of going against this metric. But then it caught back up to it. It was popping back up more. So, there could be variables that come into play. But this M2 global money supply is very important because this is not just the United States. It's the world. It's the globe. It's the largest countries in the world. U.S., China, Russia, right away, those three. India as well included there too. But don't forget, like you got the ECB, Japan, the UK involved, Australia. So a lot of economies involved that factor into this. And the whole belief is that if Bitcoin's becoming more institutionalized, then it should, in theory, follow this metric a hell of a lot more over the course of time. That's why I was saying from the beginning of 2024, because there really wasn't as much correlation with this beforehand. There was, but there wasn't. So my belief is that with this becoming more institutionalized, more major nations, let alone sovereign nations that need to, adapt to Bitcoin to overcome the weakening of their own currency. I mean, we're seeing it with the US dollar here as well, but there's, smaller countries that need to buy Bitcoin to survive. And mix them up here probably in my head. What was it? Venezuela, I think. I think Turkey. The Turkish lira has been getting crushed for a while. Nigeria is one I think that they're talking about, kind of just buying Bitcoin in bulk. And look at what happened to what was it, El Salvador, with their president and kind of changing things over there. They've accrued a ton of money with this over time. Other nations are going to look to do the same. It's a giant gold rush in essence, right? It's a digital gold rush. So keep this in mind going forward, but we haven't forgotten about this because we introduced this back in early to mid March, and we've been hawking this model ever since. So we've been saying from the end of April, hey, May is a good time to buy and hold. June coming up is a good time to buy and hold because allegedly after the end of May into the beginning of June, according to the M2 global money supply, we're supposed to skyrocket here. So I'm super bullish, right? Yeah, I misled you if you're on YouTube right now. Probably seen the title of our video like, oh, is Bitcoin going to crash? Well, it has been crashing a little bit off the highs here, but probably not for long. Probably going to get a good bounce over time in the next few days and see what happens from there.